Everyone, very excited to be here with all of you. और it's an amazing community. It's my first time at this old airport दफ्तर खान, जिससे मुझे लग रहा है थोड़ी देर में कोई फ्लाइट आएगी और हम उड़ के चले जाएंगे. But Daftar Khan and the whole community of Daftar Khan is our old friends. I've known Saad, who's the CEO, for quite some time when they were launching Daftar Khan in Lahore, and now it's become this amazing community, which is not just in Lahore, but all across Pakistan. So kudos to them. So kudos to. I think it would be great to give them a round of applause. So a round of applause for Daftar Khan and a round of applause for the folks of Creative Morning who have invited us to be here with all of you. Invited me and you. That's how we're interacting. So आज theme जो है वो है abundance का, which is something that I have had, something I can actually resonate with, और मैं उस पे देख रहा था on some of the post-it notes here as well. It's something that we all can resonate with, because it's at times and moments in life where abundance seems very binary. और इस binary का क्या मुराद है binary का, ये मैं अपनी अम्मी के साथ अक्सर बैठा होता हूँ तो इस तरह की रिफ्लेक्शन जो है ना मुझे आती हैं कि there are times when you would sit and you would think कि hey, this is something I have and I have a lot of it. So, you feel very abundant, या वो चीज़ आपकी लाइफ में काफ़ी abundant लगती है आपको कि oh, I have all of this, this is amazing. And at times you feel exactly the opposite. आपको लगता है कि यार अच्छा वो सारी चीज़ें तो ठीक है मेरे पास हैं, लेकिन अगर ये नहीं है मेरे पास, so it's a very binary kind of a feeling that you always stay into. And psychologically, that's what life is. Like every time you stay in that zone, आप कभी सोचते हैं कि यार अच्छा ये चीज़ मेरे पास है ज़बरदस्त, लेकिन मेरे पास ये क्यों नहीं है. And I think more or less your whole life you're going to spend like that. You're going to wake up at times where you're going to say कि यार ज़बरदस्त आज मेरे पास, I feel very grateful. And at times you'll be like अच्छा यार नहीं है मेरे पास नहीं है, how can I get that? And it's about managing those emotions. तो आज भी यही करना है मैंने आपको इसी abundance के इर्द गिर्द कोई इंस्पिरेशनल टॉक नहीं देनी, मैंने आपको सिंपल 3 कहानियाँ सुनानी है और वो कहानियों से मैंने क्या लेसन अखज़ किया वो मैंने आपके साथ शेयर करना है. And on top of that we can chat, you can ask questions, and we can have a follow-up chat on that. You can go to the next slide. So abundance को का जो एक snippet पैरा जो हमें यहाँ पे Creative Mornings ने globally दिया था, it was something like this. I'm going to read it out and I would love to hear some of the thoughts that everyone has from this. So abundance is a state of plenty. Gratitude magnifies our experience of abundance. When we marvel at the taste of the ripe summer fruit, juice bursting from its skin, when we set a table, a seat for every person we cherish, and bathe in the radiance. Generosity multiplies abundance. So I would like to hear from you before I start sharing some of my kahanis of life. When was the last time, I think first I would like to ask you, when is the last time you felt that you have enough? So any moment that you can remember, it can be recent or it can be before. When you felt कि यार अच्छा नहीं, okay, I'm going to take a reflection today and I feel very grateful, I think I have enough. So first, would like to hear anyone wants to raise their hand and share any feeling of gratitude that they felt recently.
The last month, I felt like I've got everything, good job, good family, simple that I was grateful to God and I've got everything I don't need.
Very nice. You, sir.
Yeah, so same here, I also feel like I have everything, but recently, just few days ago, I feel like I have nothing and I want something more. And I was just looking for all the things, and thanks to Allah that told me this event, and I got here and I sure I can learn a lot of things.
Excellent. Thank you for sharing. Anyone else?
So, recently, I was in a township, like in 2015. So then I realized, yeah, I have everything. I have friends, I have family, they love me. I have everything that a lot of people don't have. So I'm grateful for that.
Perfect. Yes, please.
So recently I realized, not just realized, I have been thankful and grateful for a very long time. Like, there are people in my life who I can go to for advice. They're my teachers, my mentors, my friends. That at times when I don't have faith in myself, they're there to lift me up, uplift me, and tell me what are the next steps that I should do. So I think I'm really grateful for people that I have around me. So yeah, that's.
Amazing. Thanks for sharing. Yes.
I think it's a conscious and constant practice that we should be doing because in search of getting more and more, we forget what we actually have. And we're very thankful for that. It should be a constant practice on a daily basis, I guess. That we should be reflecting on what we actually have and we should be thankful for that. So we last week, this week as well, that we should be thankful for what we have. We should be grateful for what we have. We get more and more. You not only focusing on what you do not have, you should be thankful for what you currently have. And that can be actually focusing on what you have.
Perfect. Thanks, Amna. So yeah, just based on these reflections, I had a similar reflection, which was almost, I think, 1 week back, where I sat down and I felt I am really, really grateful. So I was sitting with the team, and I'll tell you a little bit about what I do. But we sat down and we reflected on the fact that we are really grateful for the opportunity of doing the work that we get to do. And that gave me a sense of ठहराव, जिसको उर्दू में कहते हैं ना कि यार अच्छा ठीक है, अभी आप थोड़ा सा chill करें, you can relax, you can feel grateful, and you can take a pit stop in life instead of chasing the dreams that you are actually chasing. And based on that, I think I'll quickly introduce myself as well. So my name is Saad Hamid. I've been a part of this community for a very, very long period of time. I'm born and bred in Islamabad myself. Recently had the opportunity to move to Singapore almost 2 years back. I work for Google full time. I used to be a community manager. Now I work for the apps and games business. और usually तौर पे तो देखें जब if someone has moved abroad for a longer period of time तो वापस आता है ना तो उसको थोड़ी सी वो फीलिंग ज़रा अजीब सी होती है कि यार अच्छा ये क्या है, ये क्यों इस तरह हो रहा है, ये पोल्यूशन इतनी क्यों है. तो मुझे ये पहली दफ़ा वो थोड़ी सी इस दफ़ा फील हुई है कि वो जब आपकी थोड़ी सी जो है ना वो ब्रेन की वायरिंग चेंज हो गई होती है और अब आप वापस आते हैं और फिर आपको थोड़ी सी वो न्यूएंसेस फील होती हैं. सो दिस वाज माय फर्स्ट टाइम, बट देन आई हैड टू टेक माय सेंस ऑफ ग्रैटिट्यूड and bring it back to like really feel that I'm really grateful for the presence of my family. I was meeting my parents again for after a long period of time, so I felt very grateful for that. And I think this is something I've learned myself, which I would like to share here before I get into the stories, is कि gratitude feel करने से शायद इतना ज़्यादा आपको नहीं आएगा जितना ज़्यादा आपको उस पर reflect करने से आएगा. You have to make a conscious effort of sitting down at the end of the day and thinking about what are the things in your life which are abundant. And I can tell you this, I've been doing this practice so since the time I came back. I've been doing this practice every day at 8 p.m. I usually sit with my mom and we have a reflection on what are some of the things that we are very, very grateful for and things that are very, very abundant. And that gives us a sense of ठहराव. And that also gives us that sense कि hey, it's amazing what we've done so far, but we need to do more. And कल मुझे एक इसी तरह की और reflection आई कि यार अच्छा मैंने I think I've done enough and I'm ending the year, but what have I done for others? And so my next opportunity that I'm going to seek is कि यार अच्छा मैं अब और लोगों के लिए साथ साथ क्या करूँ. So overall, I think gratitude. These were some notes, but I would like to share with you some quick stories of how I learned about abundance and gratitude generally in life. तो ये यहाँ पे एक पिक्चर है जो मैंने I think अपनी बहुत ही कम टॉक्स में दिखाई हुई है, but this is a picture of me and my dad. And can anyone guess what city is this?
which means
Somewhere in GB. Anyone? Gizzard? नहीं, आप थोड़ा आगे निकल गए. नहीं, स्कर्दू, yes. So मेरे साथ ये लाइफ में हुआ कि स्कर्दू में there was a military school that opened known as Cadet College Skardu. And I was part of the pioneer batch क्योंकि मेरे माँ बाप ने कहा ये बच्चा घर में तंग बड़ा करता है हमें, तो let's send him to boarding school. And that's why I ended up in a boarding school. I've lived in Skardu for almost 4 years of my life till I was kicked out from the college, which is a whole separate story altogether. But I think वहाँ पे मुझे एक sense of gratitude और abundance जो मिली about Pakistan, I would have never felt that anywhere else. Because I think what happens is as we're growing up in life, हम एक बड़ा जो है ना वो पाकिस्तान का छोटा सा हिस्सा देखते हैं. I'm pretty sure कि most of you get to travel or hopefully would get to travel. But for me, that was my first experience of experiencing abundance around me. कि यार इतने ज़्यादा different तरह के culture हैं, इतना ज़्यादा, लेकिन Pakistan is not just that bubble that I'm living in, which is Islamabad. There are different people out there, people who come from different sects, people who come from different religion, people who think different, people who breathe different. The way you communicate with them is very different. And there's a lot of diversity that I experienced in a very, very early stage of my life. And I think I've always connected diversity to abundance in many ways. Okay, the more people you have around you who think different, who challenge you every day, the more abundant experiences you will have. Because it's not, ज़रूरी नहीं है ना कि आपने अपने experience से सीखना है. आप दूसरे के experiences से भी सीख सकते हैं. But the problem is that when you have a very homogeneous set of people around you, gender-wise, religion-wise, society-wise, तो आप eventually यही होगा कि जब आप खुद भी बड़े होंगे तो you'll start believing the truth of that story, which is very much your own story and their story, but not the story of the world. And the beauty of life is to not just explore your own story, but to explore the story of thousands or millions of people around you. And a lifetime is very short. I think a lifetime is very short to meet all the amazing people. But I got this very amazing opportunity to meet people there and see how diversity can change your life, which led to my lesson. And the lesson was, Mark Twain का quote है कि travel is fatal to prejudice, bigotry and narrow-mindedness. And this really, really changed my life when I eventually found out कि यार travel आपको ज़रूरी नहीं आपने बाहर ही travel करना है, आप within the country भी travel कर सकते हैं. And I personally love traveling because I get to meet new people, I get to learn from their experiences, I get to see the beauty in diversity overall that Pakistan has to offer. So this is a lesson, but this is also kind of like an action for you folks. Reassess yourself maybe every month or every couple of months and see how many new people are you meeting, not just who belong to your own class or your own society, but from different cities as well. So ये एक story थी simple सी, because this changed me in many ways. I think there are lots of good memories and many scars that I have from this experience of living many miles away from my family in a place which is very, very cold. In winter, it used to go as low as minus 30 degrees centigrade, and you're alone with yourself, and you're alone with the abundant nature that is around you. So you get to learn a lot about yourself through reflections. Which brings me to my second story. So second story क्या है? Second story ये है कि जब मैं अपने कॉलेज में गया तो my parents were like, बेटा प्लीज़ ये कर लो डिग्री, क्योंकि उनको भी उस वक्त थोड़ा सा हो रहा था कि पता नहीं abundance की जो है ना क्या हालात है, तो ये बच्चे को नौकरी मिल जाएगी इसमें, तो आप बेटा प्लीज़ इंजीनियरिंग कर लें. तो मैंने being the very जो है ना फर्मा बरदार kid that I was, मैंने कहा कि ठीक है हम इंजीनियरिंग कर लेते हैं. तो I got admission into one of the universities and I started pursuing electrical engineering. और अब यह देखें कि why ये क्यों होता है. So why do our parents sometimes give us this kind of advice, क्योंकि उनको भी ये लग रहा होता है कि there is a lack of abundance, right? और अगर आप इर्द गिर्द सारे देखें तो यही चल रहा है. लाइक आपको लगता है यार अच्छा पता नहीं डॉलर शॉर्ट होने लगा है, डॉलर ले लो, जो है ना वो कोई अच्छा नौकरियां खत्म होने लगी हैं, दूसरी वाली इंजीनियरिंग की डिग्री कर लो. तो इसी तरह माय पेरेंट्स वर लाइक बेटा इंजीनियरिंग इज द फ्यूचर, टेलीकॉम कंपनीज blah blah blah, please get into engineering. So I said yes, let's do that. And eventually during the university I realized कि यार this is not something I like to do. Like मुझे जो अपनी abundance की तलाश है of connecting with people and finding other ideas, that's in something else. So I started as a volunteer and founded this community which is called TEDx Islamabad. How many of you have seen a talk or a video of TEDx Islamabad? Good, I'm glad. Thank you. So we've been doing this for over 12 years now. This was founded in 2010. And वहाँ पे जिस तरह से मुझे एक I found a new kind of community जिसमें ideas were so abundant. People were talking about all sorts of things. They were doing all kinds of things, and they were just amazing people. And what we learned was that ideas worth spreading can come from anywhere and everywhere. They don't have to just come from a certain city. They don't have to just come from a certain class. You should respect the ideas that people are sharing with you and give them an opportunity to share that with the world. So one of the biggest lessons here was कि आइडियाज़ को अपने तक ना रखें, उनको लेके जाएं, शेयर करें दुनिया के साथ. बेशक वो आपके अपने आइडियाज़ हों, बेशक वो आपके दोस्तों के आइडियाज़ हों, and give your friends and your community the nudge to bring their ideas to the world. And we have had some, ये कुछ मैं थोड़ी सी आपको वैसे यहाँ पे पिक्चर्स दिखा रहा हूँ. So you can see one of my very close friends, उसने ऊपर जो TEDx के जो ना कपकेक्स के साथ अपनी आंखों पे लगाया हुआ है, whatever. So we've had these really amazing moments of where we have made friends over the course of 12 years who have changed their own life. They've gone on to change the life of so many other people. Speakers that we have had these really interesting conversations with. इस पे भी मैं reflect कर रहा था. So recently वो movie आई है मौला जट, right? तो उसमें there is Hamza Ali Basi, everyone knows, right? So he was one of our speakers as well, and we had some very interesting backstage conversations with Hamza Ali Basi, Parvez Hudboy, and a lot of the other amazing speakers that we have had. And those conversations are nothing like what you see them on TV. So इस तरह की छोटी चीजें, things that you learn which are not in any events, but you just stand with people and they literally rewire your brain. And this taught me कि यार आपने ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आपने सीखना है कि स्टीव जॉब्स की किताब से या बिल गेट्स से. इनफैक्ट आई थिंक स्टीव जॉब्स की जो कहानी है या बिल गेट्स की या कोई भी ग्लोबल आइकॉन इज़ नॉट वेरी रिलेटेबल टू हमारे लोकल मसले. लोकल मसले हमारे ये होते हैं कि यार अच्छा जो भी हो जाए, एंड पे मोटर चल रही है कि नहीं चल रही, या अम्मी कहती है अच्छा वो मार्केट से प्लीज़ दही ले आओ. देयर आर डिफरेंट काइंड्स ऑफ प्रॉब्लम्स दैट वी आर फेसिंग which are very localized. So you should learn from your own people. And people here are going to be your best champions, and they are going to be your best teachers as well. But the thing is, are you willing to learn or not? Which brings me to my second lesson, which is coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, working together is success. And I've learned this in life myself as well कि कुछ लोग होंगे जिससे आप सिर्फ एक कोई बात करेंगे और फिर हो सकता है आप उससे दोबारा जिंदगी में कभी ना मिलें. And then you will meet some people where you feel this vibe कि यार अच्छा I think this is going somewhere, and eventually you might turn into some business partners, you might start a community together, you might even get married. I don't know. These are just some things that can happen. But have a faith that meeting new people is something you need to do, and there is amazing success that can come from it. One recent example I can give you is I recently invested in a company which gave me a very good, amazing dividend of profits, and I was just reflecting on how I met that founder. So it was very random, super random. We met at a conference and had a very random conversation. I thought that person was something I could never work with, but eventually because we had that faith कि यार चलो मिल के बात तो करते हैं ना, let's see where this goes. So, you know, again, going back to the fact that coming together is a beginning, keeping together is progress, and working together is success. दो कहानियां हो गई. अब जो है मैं आपको तीसरी और फाइनल कहानी सुनाने लूँ. So this is the third and third story of a lot of gratitude and abundance that came to my life. So in my life, engineering भी हो गई. Engineering के बाद मैंने parents को कहा कि यार अच्छा ठीक है engineering आप लोगों ने करा ली, but this is not something I like to work with. I like to do this, you know, digital marketing business. And ये जो digital marketing की चीज़ें हैं ना मुझे बड़ी पसंद है, तो मैंने वो करना शुरू की. And then eventually I launched a website which got really popular. I started making a lot of money. One day I ended up at my home buying a Honda City. मेरी अम्मी और मेरे पेरेंट्स भी परेशान हो गए कि बच्चा पता नहीं ऑनलाइन क्या कर रहा है. You know, because I come from a very middle class family, so they were like very concerned. You know, what is he doing online? Where is he getting a lot of money from? And over the course of years, so उसके बाद I launched a bunch of companies. I worked for Jazz full time as well. And then this very interesting thing happened that I launched another community on the side, which was a community for Google called Google Developer Groups, and I started volunteering for it. And उस community से eventually 2018 में I received this invite from Google that hey, you seem to be doing some interesting work. Would you like to join the company full time? So that's where, you know, my kind of life took a different kind of a turn. And I joined Google while being in Pakistan in the end of 2018. And वहाँ से the whole roller coaster started. We launched a bunch of community programs by Google in Pakistan. There was Google Developer Groups. There was a program for students called Developer Student Clubs. And we have seen some amazing impact from all those communities, you know, coming into Pakistan and how the lives of these people have actually changed. And eventually फिर हुआ ये कि 2 years back I received this random email, hey, we have a new role open, would you like to, you know, join us for this role full time in Google Singapore? And that's when I moved to Singapore almost 2 years back. And ये कुछ मैंने reflections अपनी लगाई नहीं है जो this is from this year. I usually do a reflection, तो मैंने अपने LinkedIn पे stories post की. This year I was lucky enough to be at a conference which is TED in Vancouver, and I actually met the co-founder of Google. So you can see Sergey Brin is actually there. So all this happened because I believed in the power of community and coming together, and, you know, doing something for others without expecting a return. So I really believe in this concept of, you know, आप अगर किसी चीज़ में बरकत से volunteering करते हैं, काम करते हैं, that will come back to you in one way or the other. So at the end of the day, abundance is about understanding कि आप में काफ़ी बरकतें हैं जो आप दूसरों में बांट सकते हैं, और काफ़ी बरकतें दुनिया में हैं जो आप तक आ सकती हैं. But first thing is foremost, which is faith and belief. And you have to have that belief कि यार अच्छा inshallah I'm going to get into this. And I really believe in कि अमाल का दारोमदार नियतों पे है. कि, you know, you have to really believe in the intention of doing good, and eventually good things will come your way. तो ये कुछ मैंने इसीलिए स्टोरीज इधर डाली नहीं है कि like, you know, we did some amazing stuff this year. Like this was the first year that my family was visiting me at the office as well. It was really fun. So my wife there, as you can see in the top middle picture, she was there. My 2 little kids, they were there as well. And पहले असल में कोविड के दौरान Google का office was closed. So this was the year that, you know, a lot of fun things happened. And this is the picture on the left is really fun because this is again a community event for Google that happened recently in Lahore that I was a part of. And even though it's not my role anymore to work in community, but I genuinely believe if I can impact and change lives, if I can inspire someone, you know, one day that thing will come back to me. And that's why I love meeting new people. I love seeing कि अच्छा कौन क्या क्या कर रहा है and how I can help them, you know, to become the best version of themselves. So this brings us to the last lesson for today, which is a mantra that we use at Google every day. This is officially the values of the company, but I personally love it, which is respect yourself, respect each other, and respect the opportunity. I think if you reflect on this every day, your life would be full of abundance. इसमें सबसे पहला तो वही point है कि you have to respect yourself. at the end of the day, you should know, what your boundaries are, what your focus is, and what you really want to do. Secondly, respect each other. और मुझे पता है यहाँ पे सारे कहेंगे हाँ हाँ वो तो हम वैसे ही करते हैं, लेकिन I think it's still very important to vocalize it and reflect on it. I think हमारे कल्चर में ना बहुत सारी चीज़ें हम for granted ले लेते हैं क्योंकि they were either mentioned in religion or they are part of the society, but we don't actually practice them. So every day you have to reflect on these things, and this is what I do. And the last one is the respect the opportunity. So any opportunity that you get, be faithful towards it, and try to see the best that you can do for yourself, the best that you can do for others. So these were the 3 stories. So जो एक last message that I want to leave you with is that we all have superpowers hidden inside us. We can unlock our true potential if we discover our superpowers and show them to the world. इसका कहने का मकसद ये, मैं हर इवेंट पे जाके कहता हूँ, so सुपर पावर्स का मतलब ये है कि यार there is definitely something out there, one small thing that you can teach to someone else. It might be a story, it might be a skill, it might be a new way of thinking, it might be a reflection, it might be a thought, it might be an idea. There's just so much hidden inside every human being. The thing is, are you letting out your superpower to show to the world or to your friends? And the other thing on the other side is कि क्या आप दूसरों को ये मौका दे रहे हैं कि they are feeling comfortable enough to show their superpowers to you. So जब आप इस पे you get comfortable, I think you don't need to look for inspiration outside. That's why मैं अब उस पे believe ही नहीं करता कि यार अच्छा स्टीव जॉब्स नहीं है कहा, बिल गेट्स नहीं है कहा. I think what really matters is that what each one of you say to each other, and how do you spend time with each other, and how do you share the love, the respect, the dignity, and how do you empower each other and help each other grow. So I think that was my overall message that I wanted to share for today. A set of very fragmented stories, but the overall theme was how you can get more abundance at times when you think things are not abundant. So go with reflections, go with a growth mindset, and search inside yourself. So that's my talk for today. Thank you.
From everybody. That was awesome. Thank you so much, Saad. So I guess one thing that I really struggle with a lot of the times is if I take the mindset of, I'm grateful for everything, then I feel like there's this fear of complacency. Yeah, if I'm grateful for everything, मेरे पास सब कुछ है, quote unquote, I'm not going to strive for something greater. So how do you overcome something like that?
So thank you for asking that question. I think that's an amazing question because I struggle with this myself. Because there needs to be a certain kind of a balance. कि यार if I use gratitude as a way to feel stationary, तो फिर मैं और किस तरह से चीज़ों के बारे में चीज़ें करूँगा. And I think at the end of the day, it all comes down to more reflection around this. And this is what I do. I don't know how it works for you or for other people as well. Okay, when you reflect, you're grateful for what happened till now. That's what I tell my brain. Okay, I'm very, very grateful for what happened till now. I have everything. But what about the other amazing opportunities that are out there that have not been discovered yet? The amazing number of people, and this is a struggle I have a lot, is because and my wife, वो उस पे मुझे बहुत ज़्यादा कहती है कि यार तुम्हें तो सुकून जो है ना होता ही नहीं है. So this is a big kind of a problem. कि why do you just not stop? She tells me this a lot, but उसके बावजूद भी being a ढीठ इंसान, I keep doing what I love to do. So I think you just have to reflect कि hey, at the end of the day, you have to set your priorities. Like for me, biggest priority for next year is going to be my kids. I think I've done a lot of work. I feel very grateful about it, but I in some way have ignored my kids or have ignored being a good father. So this is something I need to do. So there is still more that I can do being a father, maybe not in my work, but being as a father. So there is always room to grow. सो एट द एंड ऑफ द डे मैंने देखा है कि आपकी कुछ ही क्वाड्रेंट्स होते हैं लाइफ के. देयर इज हेल्थ, देयर इज वर्क, देयर इज कम्युनिटी, देयर इज स्लीप. देयर इसी तरह के कोई 3-4-6 कोई इस तरह के क्वाड्रेंट्स चीज़ें बनती हैं. तो उसमें होगा ये कि व्हेनेवर यू ग्रेटफुल फॉर अ लॉट ऑफ दीज, तो वो सारे फुलफिल नहीं हो रहे होंगे आपके. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, आई ऑलवेज गेट अ वेरी गुड नाइट स्लीप. I think I'm very grateful for my sleep for the past 34 years of my existence. I, don't need to work more on my sleep. I've had an 8 hour of sleep always. I think sleep is actually my superpower, and my very close friends who have traveled with me, they actually know that, because I can just get into a car and sleep in 20 seconds. So there are other things that I can grow in. तो gratitude में आप उन चीज़ों पे तो reflect करते हैं कि यार क्या चीज़ें मैंने कर ली हैं, and those are good. But what are other things that I need to be better at? And I think that's where you keep growing, and eventually you find these new areas. और हमेशा कोई ना कोई नई चीज़ निकल आती है. तो gratitude in fact will give you that sense कि यार ये जो आपने चीज़ें की हैं या जिस चीज़ों पे फोकस किया है, those are taken care of. You can relax and you can move on to the next. You can move on your energy and your mindset to some other things. So that's how I work on this. But yeah, this is an open discussion. There is no right or wrong answer. Yeah.
Yes, sir. What is something very abundant in Singapore that you find it unique, but nowhere else you find it's rare, it's not there? Because Singapore is a unique city or country, whatever.
This is going to sound funny, but money. it's the wealthiest and the most expensive cities in the world. But what I love about Singapore so far is कि यार जो मेरा जिस तरह mindset, I think it has been rewired. वो ये है कि when I come here, I see यहाँ पे क्या abundant है जो वहाँ पे नहीं है, जो कि नहीं सही. वो है noise. I see a lot of, and I don't mean noise as in sound noise, sound pollution and everything. But यहाँ पे ना there are a lot of just distractions which are uncontrollable. और for some reason हमारे culture ने या हमने खुद उनको अपने ऊपर हावी किया हुआ है. And I had this discussion with my mom the other day as well, and हम काफ़ी इसमें बैठ के हमने reflect किया कि काफ़ी ऐसी चीज़ें which are uncontrollable जिसका आप और मैं कुछ नहीं कर सकते, लेकिन हमने उनको अपने बहुत सर पे सवार किया हुआ है. यहाँ की मैं बात कर रहा हूँ, पाकिस्तान की. So वहाँ पे जो lack of abundance है is this noise. And this is with any developed country, any developed city. It's not just Singapore. People are very focused on, hey, what do I want to do? And what I'm thinking about, ये जो सारी चीज़ें हैं, are these noise, or do I need to really, really care about this? यहाँ पे मुझे थोड़ी सी अब नॉइज फील होती है. वही होता है ना, जब बंदा थोड़ा बाहर जाता है तो उसको इस तरह की चीज़ें थोड़ी सी, तो मेरा भी अब दिमाग थोड़ा सा इस तरह होना शुरू हो रहा है. बट यहाँ पे आई थिंक people could focus better. And I know people who are living here, it's again a different kind of an environment for them, and even I have to come back. So this is a discussion that I have with my wife कि यार eventually अपनी आदतें आप इतना ख़राब ना करें कि आपको वापस आना पड़े, तो it becomes a challenge. But noise यहाँ पे of things और uncontrollables पे discussions बहुत ज़्यादा हैं. So if we can, I think, minimize that and focus on our priorities of which could be personal priorities or community level priorities of how we can do better, which I think you folks are a part of. You folks here जो सारे यहाँ पे हैं, they're a very, very small percentage, maybe 0.0001% of how Pakistan actually thinks. But this is what we need in abundance. You need a Creative Mornings in every city, every other week, right? But that does not happen. So that is what I'm saying कि ये जो चीज़ है, अगर I think with time can get better, and that's obviously a challenge because the more this kind of mindset gets developed, they will leave the country. And see, so there is always going to be a lack on that funnel. Lekin that's what I'm hoping, that's what this community is doing, and kudos to Aruj and the rest of the community and everyone, that you still think different and you choose to think different, and I'm hoping with time this is going to get better, but very amazed to see such an amazing turnout and people who believe in such kind of ideas.
All the dots. लोग आपने बात की कि लोग बाहर जा रहे हैं फॉर एग्जांपल, तो अगर किसी से पूछे मोस्टली यही जवाब होता है कि हमें यहाँ ग्रोथ नहीं मिल रही थी, जॉब में ग्रोथ नहीं है, कंपनीज ग्रोथ नहीं दे रही. यंग लॉट, बिकॉज आई फिट इनटू द यंग लॉट एज वेल, अपॉर्चुनिटीज़ और वो जो प्रमोशन का है कि 10 साल आप देंगे तो प्रमोशन मिलेगी, ये सारी चीज़ों से लोग escape कर रहे हैं. But I feel that the other side of coin is that you also create opportunities for yourself, even if you are at a company in a job. ज़रूरी नहीं है कि आप startup के founder ही हो तो opportunity होगी. So what is your take on that, and in your experience, because I would really love to know that कि जब आप jobs कर रहे थे या कहीं पे भी थे, how did you find opportunities for yourself, or how did you create them?
Your name?
Amara.
Amara, thank you so much for that question. So that's an amazing question कि यार जब आपको वो abundance of growth नहीं मिल रही, what do you do? I think this again is very different for a different kind of people, because इस पे जब मेरी अपनी wife से कुछ discussions होती है reflection की, तो I eventually realized कि there are different people, like she's very different, I'm very different. तो इसी तरह जो like there is no right or wrong formula to this, but I think at the end of the day, where opportunities are not being created, you have that opportunity to pitch and create those opportunities. अब opportunity का ये मतलब नहीं कि आपने कोई role अपनी company के अंदर create करना है, but it could be a simple idea, something new that you bring to the table. It could be a side hustle. It could be something new that you explored. It's something maybe you're doing on the side. But at the end of the day, nobody is going to create those opportunities for you. You will have to create those opportunities for yourself. And also, one thing, my biggest learning and reflection over the years is you cannot do this as a solo person. Our minds are meant and wired to be in a way that you sit in a group of 3 or 4 people, which could be your friends, your family, or anyone that you recently met. And that's where a new opportunity basically sprouts up. So networking इसलिए मुझे बहुत पसंद है, because eventually you talk to someone and they will give you this idea, और फिर आप उससे बात करते हैं, suddenly a whole new mini economy just comes into existence. तो कहने का ये मकसद है कि you can create those opportunities. You just have to meet a lot of diverse people who will give you a new way of thinking, a new maybe test bed to try these opportunities. लेकिन आपको खुद तो बनानी पड़ेंगी, मतलब ये तो बहुत रेयर होगा कि वो खुद चीज़ें बन जाएं. You will have to get very, very uncomfortable, be out there. Like the only reason I'm here is because मुझे पता है कि यार अच्छा maybe I'll meet someone and eventually that will lead into some sort of a conversation which will be a new idea that sprouts up. That's why I always show up. So you will have to show up either at your workplace or personally in your life with the intention that new opportunities will pop up if you have that intention.